Ready. Play.
Tournament leaders. Number one, obviously, aspect of these two players' games that comes to mind is your baseline points. And in fact, these two are 1 and 2 so far through 3 rounds in baseline points won. So something's going to have to give.
59.
That's brilliant from Medvedev.
Yeah, maybe hitting his forehand with a bit more spin this year, I think, as well. We looked at some of the Hawkeye numbers before this match, and he actually hits with more spin than perhaps he has done in previous years. Again, we talk about a string change. He obviously changed his strings as well at the start of the season. Something he actually talked about in Rome, wasn't it? The week he won in Rome, how significant that was for him, just to be able to get the ball through the court a bit more.
Yeah, nice solid opening service game for Daniil Medvedev.
Yeah, the man in the light blue shirt, Eric Hernandez, who does a lot of his strength and conditioning. Does the odd week here or there. He's not a guy who travels a whole lot, but tends to pitch up for the bigger events.
What a volley it was from de Minaur, and he actually touched the net. Medvedev just heard the umpire call that.
15 off.
Yeah, interesting return position taken up by Medvedev in the first point. He's very, very deep. I wonder if he'll continue to employ that particular play.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what kind of pace Medvedev gives de Minaur in a lot of these exchanges. Nick mentioned Jimmy Arias was speaking to Gilles Savara. Gilles kind of alluded to the fact that de Minaur loves to work with pace. He, of course, loves to counter punch and use his opponent's pace to his advantage. So Gilles Savara kind of made the fact that that he might just start almost slow-balling him at times, and kind of saw it at points during that last point, Nick.
Yeah. There's no doubt, as you say, who's in a more offensive position throughout the course of that rally. Medvedev won't mind that, though, I don't think.
As Adolfo Gutierrez working with Alex de Minaur for a little while now.
such a flat ball, isn't it? And that's the one thing that perhaps has troubled Medvedev as well in the last couple of matches. Obviously, Medvedev been as tall as he is. That ball's staying low on him, especially when he changes direction like that. Going to get himself down to the ball that's really not coming up a whole lot. Too many players who, when you look at the spin rates combined forehand and backhand, are as low as de Minaur.
There's a beautiful change of direction from Medvedev.
Deuce.
They've already had 4 rallies over 9 shots, which is kind of what we came to expect, really. It's going to be a physical contest. Don't think either of these players are going to mind that, though, the way they're built.
It's a super point from Alex de Minaur. Touch and feel, absolutely sublime.
And so much of this is about his court position. You can see there where he is to play the initial drop shot. He actually faked, didn't he? He gave Medvedev the little look for the one up the line and then went back to it. Still had a fair bit to do here, though.
Dragging him forward. Alex de Minaur, it's a volley that Medvedev would have expected to make, but de Minaur able to come through the game.
That's a tried and tested play against Medvedev, isn't it? If you've got the ball on which to do it. You know, we've seen players, we saw Chris O'Connell actually do it a couple of days ago, just use that short slice to get him in, because as you say, his skills in and around the net are not as perhaps competent as some of his peers. It's a little vulnerable there.
I just wonder if this match does get physical, Nick. Medvedev's ability just to win cheaper points on his serve may prove crucial.
Yeah, hard to disagree on that. But the humidity as well. I'm just thinking the balls obviously are fluffing up quite a bit. They are going to be heavy, aren't they? Just before that kind of change of balls, these guys are obviously going to be engaging in a lot of long rallies.
So good from Medvedev, turning defence into attack in a couple of shots there.
Yeah, it's pretty clear as well that de Minaur is going to use the slice more often tonight, isn't he? Just try and get that ball, give Medvedev a little lack of pace, take him off the baseline.
Another good move forward from Minaur. 3 out of 3 so far when he's come to the net.
And it's the speed with which he transitions, isn't it, that actually makes his life that much easier, because he is able to get the ball, but before it drops, and he can actually just get the pace on the first volley. Momentum is so going forward so aggressively.
Goes again. Medvedev will be a little frustrated though that he didn't get Minaur to at least play another volley.
And just squeezing him for time, forcing him into a mistake. And he may not be the biggest guy, but his presence, I'm sure you feel his presence up there because of how lively he is. Swagger about him, Minaur, doesn't he, at the moment? The way he carries himself is a nice air about him, confidence is high, you can feel that off him. Just to the top 10 now.
Yeah, 12 in the live rankings at the moment. Minaur just behind Tiafoe, Zverev at 10. Certainly early on, Minaur the one looking to try and make things happen out here. Coming forward, seen a couple of drop shots. The second ace helps him through a tough game there, Daniil Medvedev. He stays ahead. Early stages, leading 2-1. Game's time, so we'll just keep an eye on Medvedev. Already been a pretty physical start, hasn't it? 16 minutes for the opening 3 games.
Didn't expect anything else, did we?
No, we sure didn't.
Just looking at the average rally length already, obviously a long way to go, but currently sitting at 8 shots average rally length. Men's tour average, remember, just 4.
First time that these two have met at a Grand Slam in their careers. 3 times they've met at Masters 1000 level. Of course, de Minaur winning the last 2 of those. Does the best of 5 sets, Nick, give the advantage to one or the other, do you think, or not? Oh, it's beautifully done.
Not particularly, in my opinion. I don't think either way it kind of makes a huge difference. But I guess if Medvedev is struggling a little bit physically, then you'd have to say that potentially the Australians maybe hold sway.
It was a nice camera shot, wasn't it? Just to see how deep Medvedev does stand on return.
And it's also clever, isn't it? Because he throws in a 112-mile-an-hour serve. So actually it's not that quick. So by the time it actually gets to Medvedev, it's losing pace. And you can see there he's not timed it properly because of that.
So much easier service game for de Minaur this time. 2 games all.
You know, when you are that far back, you need to obviously have some pace to work with, and just by taking it out of it, makes it difficult.
Remember, you can download the US Open app, follow your favourite players, track the latest scores, everything you could possibly want to know about this year's US Open. It's available in both the App Store and the Google Play Store as well.
It's very humid tonight, isn't it? Perhaps the most it's been all tournament. Remember that famous night here in 2018 when John Millman beat Roger Federer, and I've never seen anyone's ever seen Federer perspire quite as much as that evening.
Didn't look too pretty, but it worked. Such a great approach, that knife slice from de Minaur started really well in this match, and a break point will follow.
So agile, isn't he? You can see how quickly he is to get in here, and then he has to put the brakes on, and then suddenly the ability to get back. Relatively simple smash in the end.
Believe he's gone to that shot. Medvedev could have done anything he wanted with that ball, especially against someone who is grease lightning around the court like Alex de Minaur. And it's the Aussie who makes the first move to lead 3-2. Certainly all encouraging signs for Alex de Minaur. Early stages here, serving with the break.
Coming in a lot, isn't he? And he's just squeezing Medvedev's space. And again, the great thing about that approach is it's actually quite short. Again, because of where Medvedev's return position is and where he sits, the ball's so low by the time it gets to him that he really hasn't got many options from there.
Yeah, it's always a good play against Medvedev. We've seen Carlos Alcaraz use the serve and volley a lot in his meetings with the #3 seed. Seven out of 7 at the net so far for the Aussie.
And then the impact that has as well on his return, because that's not often you see him miss that sort of return, but just gets in his head a little bit, doesn't it? He doesn't quite know where de Minaur's going to go.
Super tennis from de Minaur again, just having to absorb a little bit of pressure, but not giving away any ground at the back of the court there, and then just one big strike of the forehand turns the point around. Yeah, what a run it was in 2021 for Daniil Medvedev. Just dropped the one set the whole tournament. That was to Botic van der Zandschulp actually in the quarterfinals. Came through obviously against Djokovic in that final straights. That infamous celebration that he did. Well, he's come in with a game plan, Alex de Minaur, and right now he's executing to perfection.
Is it getting under Medvedev's skin in the reaction here off the back of this one? But again, look at the poor position to play it. Also forces Medvedev to come in from quite a wide position there, doesn't it? So therefore you can see he's got the space. He's seething.
Again, going to that slice. It's love 30, by the way. Yeah, scoreboard was incorrect there. Chance for the double break here.
Medvedev really being hurt behind that second deal so far. Just 2 of 8 points, one behind it. We highlighted the problems he's had with the first set percentage in the summer. It's okay at the moment, mid-60s.
Again, he just dropped it so short, nothing on it. And de Minaur just attacking behind the forehand again, following it in.
15-40.
Decent half volley, wasn't it, as well? Made a difficult situation there, kind of manufactured something out of nothing.
Oh, what a return from Alex de Minaur, and what an opening 29 minutes it has been for the Aussie. In a couple of moments, he will serve for the set at 5-2.
Sign yourself up there.
Not yet. Still a bit of time. And that's where we are. Roof open now on Louis Armstrong Stadium, and Alex de Minaur, after a superb opening 30 minutes, serving for the set.
We talked about his use of the slice. Just been told he's at 35% right now off that backhand slice, so good number, way up on what his usually would be. Yeah, may not be too invested in trying to turn first set around here. Medvedev double breakdown. So not sure physically just how he is feeling. Obviously did have the doctor out. This has been very one-sided. Well, it's just played a pretty perfect opening set against Daniil Medvedev as Alex de Minaur. 32 minutes of high-quality tennis from the Aussie, and he takes the set by 6-2. Become godfather. He said he probably wouldn't have signed up to it if he'd have known how much responsibility it entailed. Yeah, very good friends. In fact, both of these two, Medvedev and de Minaur, have very good records against Rublev. Whoever does come through this match, Medvedev's played Rublev 7 times, beaten him 5 of those 7 times. And de Minaur as well, played him 4 times, and has won 3 of those 4. So, yeah, both have pretty lopsided records against Rublev, who, remember, is still never been further than a quarter-final at a Grand Slam. Yeah, I think one of the reasons, obviously, that Rublev doesn't have as good a record against Medvedev, we talked about his, at times, sort of unwillingness to come forwards, isn't it? He's more of a guy who doesn't look for those opportunities, and allows Medvedev perhaps a few more opportunities to get back in the rally. I couldn't believe the match Rublev played in Cincinnati, Nick, against Emil Ruusuvuori, about 3¼ hours. Came to the net once in 3¼ hours. Yeah, almost impossible. Well, under pressure straight away here. Double fault, followed by the backhand long. 12 unforced errors now already. Big numbers for him so early in a match.
Let's first serve.
So Medvedev survives from 30-all and takes the opening game. Good body language at least, a little fist pump there over at his team.
almost became like a hard court, whereas he went to Roland Garros. It was hot that first day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And it was dusty, and it was a very different setup. It's obviously a lot tougher for him to keep his balance. He's a lot more slippery, so the week of Rome, it was very heavy. Therefore, his footing was a lot more secure, I think, in my opinion, that week than it was in Paris.
Serving beautifully. Early stages here, de Minaur. 13 of 14 points won behind the first serve. Yeah, another quick-fire hold to love. Ball's immediately back in the hands of Daniil Medvedev.
1 seconds.
Yeah, I think, you know, and again, you look at Medvedev's sort of tactics against guys that are rushing. He hasn't really been willing to change the return position at all, has he, so far in his career? And obviously, I'm not saying he's going to have to do that, but perhaps if guys are going to play this way against him, that adjustment is going to be required. Rarely do you see him up the court. I believe he's actually looking to move to London, Alex. So I'm told potentially live in the sort of London area, have a bit more of a base there as well with his girlfriend.
Beautiful bit of skill from Daniil Medvedev, and maybe that will just get him going.
Well, the tween is not necessarily a speciality, is it? And I think that probably explains this reaction, because this is not something he goes to very often. And he's got it cleanly. And he's got the follow-up.
So Medvedev holds to love. Stays ahead in this second set, leading by 2 games to 1 now.
First serve.
Might that be somewhat of a spark, possibly, for him, as you say? Body language looks to be a little more optimistic.
solid from Medvedev.
Last semi.
A lot of approval from Daria.
Good depiction then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad. Goodness, one of the points of the tournament so far, and it goes the way of Daniil Medvedev to bring him 2 break points.
And Medvedev playing with a little more offensively minded tennis right now, isn't he? He didn't want to come in, he had plenty of opportunities to look to come forwards, but just wasn't willing to take them until he was kind of forced forwards. And actually hit a pretty good first volley.
Surprised that he missed it. Looks locked in right now, does Medvedev. Normally a backhand that he can make in his sleep.
Yeah, Minaur being really targeting the forehand off the first serve so far. Where will he go this time?
That's so intelligent from Minaur. Not for the first time today, throws in that serve volley.
It's also a fact that it's so hard for Medvedev to dip this at his feet, even if he sees him coming there. He's so far back, it's impossible for him to flight the ball, to actually get the ball low. Gives him so much time to get forwards because of that.
Advantage, Medvedev.
so good from Minaur. Medvedev was just saying to him, well, I'm not missing. Minaur takes matters into his own hands.
Deuce.
Yeah, 25-shot rally. And as you said, it was the movement off the ball in the end from the Australian that got it done.
He's locked in right now as Medvedev playing the best tennis that we've seen today.
And that's a shot you don't see him hit too often, is it? This angled forehand. Again, that sort of, we talked about the spin. He's getting a bit more spin on the ball these days, and I think that contributes to be able to find that angle. And then, of course, Minaur perhaps a little guilty of actually playing a little too aggressively when defending. Didn't give himself any time to recover his position. Return serve numbers so far. Minaur's climbing. This set, 43% unreturned serves. It's one of the best in the business. Double that of Medvedev.
Even a hop, skip and a jump didn't urge it over.
Advantage Medvedev.
Fifth opportunity here for Medvedev. Oh. Nice time to find ace number one.
Deuce.
He's had some physical issues, isn't he? And a lot of it, I know, in the early days was actually the stomach. And a lot of the reason for that was because he opened up very early on the serve. So I know the physios back in Australia who helped him were kind of a little bit worried about that side of things. The core took quite a hit because his serve, he does rotate open early. Puts a little pressure on the stomach.
They actually missed the 2020 Australian Open with an abdominal tear. Minaur.
Matt Reed on the right there has been hitting partner this week with him. Of course, Matt actually was helping James Duckworth this summer, coaching him. Former doubles player is Matt.
Let for serve.
And again, goes to the serve volley. And not for the first time today, showing exquisite touch in the forecourt. It's the round of applause from Katie Bolter. Had a good run here herself, did Katie. Made the third round. Lost to the young American, Peyton Stearns.
Yeah, good summer, isn't it? For Katie. Top 50, I think, there or thereabouts now.
Just a reminder, usopen.org, your online home for everything US Open. No hangover, no frustration seemingly after missing out on those 5 breakpoint chances in the last game.
30-15.
Those days I just wonder whether the umpires are just being a little bit more lenient in terms of starting the serve clock a touch later, possibly, just given the fact that obviously players need the towel a bit more. It is at the discretion of the umpire, supposed to start the serve clock when they've actually called the score, after they've called the score.
Under pressure here, Medvedev. Oh.
40-30.
Comes through eventually. Took the scenic route to Medvedev. Stays ahead, leading by 3 games to 2 now. But an intriguing match in progress here. de Minaur taking the opening set, serving at 2-3 in the second. He's made the quarterfinals once before here, has de Minaur. That came back in 2020. Lost out to Dominic Thiem in the end, pretty comfortably actually in that quarterfinal. It's his only Grand Slam quarterfinal that he's made.
It really has been his record against the top 10, hasn't it? When you look at it, that's just held him back a little bit from the kind of really taking that next step in his career. Yeah, the good news for him is, of course, it's changing. 6 top 10 wins this year of the 13 in total. Last year was 3-8. Previous year was 0-6 against the top 10. This year, 6-5. So big uptick in terms of those best players in the world. Much more of an impression.
Can you put your finger on why that is, Nick?
Yeah, tough to say, isn't it? I mean, as I say, I think you look back to probably that win in Paris last year as a springboard, and talked about getting a bit more pop off the ground. Probably, you know, he'd be the first to admit at times in his career he's been a bit underpowered against some of these guys, you know, but if that's changing, perhaps it feels as though he's able to hurt them a bit more. Talk about the serve getting a little bit bigger. He's able to get more free points underlined by this evening and the way he's played this match.
First Aussie inside the world's top 10 for 20 years, if Alex de Minaur can break through.
That's pacey, and that's a good example of what we were talking about. I mean, that's a big hit. Interesting to get some ground stroke speeds average, but this is a mid-court ball, and he has clubbed it flat.
Couple of brilliant returns in a row from de Minaur.
So simple, isn't it? And you can see how the racket face is perfect to meet the ball. It just deflects it off the backhand side. It's such a simple return. His body weight's behind it.
No sign of the breathing difficulties for Daniil Medvedev that were plaguing him in the early stages of the opening set. Ace number 6 gets Medvedev through the game. De Minaur had that mid-court forehand that he would have... anything short, de Minaur has just pounced on it, hasn't he, today?
15 love.
And there's another example, just dictating with the forehand.
Oh, doesn't need to give it back. There you go. Oh,
What's going on here?
Yeah, no, changing those net points, as you highlighted. 19 of 20, that's incredible.
Pretty quiet guy off the court. De Minaur certainly not the loudest guy in the room, to quote Thanasi Kokkinakis.
Yeah, it'd be tough to get a word in with Kokkinakis and Kyrgios in the same room.
It would,
I
yeah.
think in fairness, most people would be quiet in that scenario.
That's a very good point. But he's not a shrinking violet in big stages like this. Can affect people playing here in New York. Kind of atmosphere that this place brings out in people.
He's blown a few fuses over the years, isn't it? Including in this man, who's able to keep it together tonight.
The ultimate love-hate relationship with the crowd here, Daniil Medvedev.
just actually been given the average ground stroke speeds for both, and they're identical forehand and backhand. But of course, the big difference for Minaur, he's actually taken his forehand obviously a lot earlier. So it looks as though perhaps it's a little bit bigger than it is, but 76 miles an hour for both on the forehand. .69 on the backhand.
Continues to go to that play, Alex de Minaur, and continues to use it successfully. 20 of 21 points, one at the net so far today for the Aussie. So business end of this second set, 4 games all. Remember, Medvedev had those 5 breakpoint chances earlier on in the set. Wasn't able to take any of them. De Minaur yet to have a look at an opportunity so far in the second.
That's better. Taking time away for once.
15 love.
Problem from defending the second serve tonight. It's been rough. Depth there though.
First serve.
Might have been a little disappointed with that backhand, de Minaur.
Good play off the serve, wasn't it? The body serve, something he hasn't used a lot. Again, de Minaur very high up the court to return serve, and if you can hit your spot and get him tucked up, it's going to limit his options off the return.
Yeah, pretty simple tennis for Daniil Medvedev, and Alex de Minaur now serving to stay in the second at 4-5. After taking the opening set by 6 games to 2, but a very different Daniil Medvedev at the other end of the court. The 48 minutes that we've played so far in this set compared to what we saw at the start of this match. magnificent from Daniil Medvedev. Beautiful camera angle as well, just to watch that point unfold.
Love 15.
First double.
Very rare, actually. He's lost the first point on serve, isn't it, as well? And you kind of feel that just created a little bit of additional pressure. Just so simple, the back end, isn't it? He's just able to deflect the pace so well. He can stay a little higher up the court because of it and just use the pace. Medvedev a little caught by surprise. That one did go up the line, I think.
Eventually long. Again, just rock solid from Medvedev, just saying to de Minaur, well, I'm not going to miss. You're going to have to try and make something happen.
Yeah, got away with a couple, didn't he? There were a couple of balls that were slightly mistimed that just seemed to catch the line, and he was clinging on, really.
2 set points. Medvedev just weaving his web like a different player in set 2 compared to the Medvedev we saw at the start of this match.
Who's been such a mentor to him will be heading to Manchester, I'm sure, in the next couple of days with his team. They're actually playing in the Davis Cup over in Great Britain. Match is starting a week on Tuesday, so actually not that long from now. Tomorrow. Minaur's got a phenomenal record in Davis Cup. Played well last year. The only match he lost actually was to Roger Aliassime in the final in Malaga.
point. Amazing return from de Minaur. Medvedev just throws his arms up in the air.
Yeah, I think there's so much perspiration that's actually coming onto the surface, isn't there? I wonder if that's actually making it a bit slippier. Jack Draper had a couple of times I noticed earlier on when he was just whopping up the court with his towel.
So Medvedev holds.
First game, third set.
Final of Dubai, beating Andre Rublev. Final of Indian Wells, where he eventually lost to Carlos Alcaraz. And then final of Miami, where he beat Yannick Sinner. It's just on such an amazing charge.
I think he was the first player, wasn't he, to make 4 straight finals in a long time. 20 years or so. Something like that. It was an incredible run. Of course, he actually stayed on in Cincinnati, didn't he, and practiced there for a couple of days after his loss.
Painted the line. Beauty from Medvedev.
He wasn't working with a whole lot here, was he, either? This was a fairly kind of central ball, but just guiding it.
Yeah, he's just absorbing everything that de Minaur is throwing at him right now. Medvedev looking to make an immediate move in this third set.
15 seconds.
Oh, missed it by a millimetre or two.
But again, look at the difference in return position.
Yeah.
I mean, he has big time changed that, hasn't he? Much more aggressive, trying to get on top of the point earlier.
Interesting. Taking that return on the backhand, Medvedev.
Yeah, cost him, didn't it? Wasn't able to colour back to the middle.
Another one. Trying to run round to hit the backhand, so a good hold in the end from Minaur.
One of only 4 players actually last year on tour to hit more backhands than forehands. It's pretty unusual. Fritz was one, Evans was the other, Murray I think was the third, I believe. Well, certainly gives him more balance in terms of his positioning on the court. A lot of players obviously look to use their forehand a bit more, and it's the modern day way. Franklin Tiafo? Or is it not? Not sure. Not sure it was.
Yeah, they're important today. Very humid still, even though it's 8:15.
Yeah, it's not changing anytime soon either.
Yeah, it's going to get worse over the next couple of days. 8th ace. And Medvedev stays ahead, 2-1.
2-1, third set, 1-0.
Too good.
Yeah, I wonder if he just got a little fortunate there. He's looking as if to say, yeah, I'm inside the ball there. That was a Leighton Hewitt-like backhand. He was just come inside the ball.
She credits his girlfriend there, Katie Bolter, for kind of just giving him a different perspective in his tennis career. Oh, picked him off beautifully, Medvedev.
15-30.
Yeah, Minaur said he used to get very down on himself if he lost a match. It would take him quite a long time for him to get over it, kind of ruin the next couple of days. And you know, he says over the years and since he's met Katie and been with her, kind of sees how she reacts to losing matches. Obviously, she still doesn't like it, and it does hurt, but she's very positive. She doesn't take... Yeah, doesn't take kind of take tennis for granted, doesn't mind the results. She goes out there, competes, enjoys herself, and he says that he's learned a lot from her in that way as well.
Yeah, of course, Katie from Leicester. Big supporter of Leicester City. Grandfather's up there. Finally been able to get over her injury worries. Hopefully for her, anyway. First serve percentage in this set, 33 right now. Just to address that issue. Got quite the energy, is he, about him at the moment?
Yeah.
First serve.
What KT's grandfather invented?
I knew it was something. It was... Tell me.
The security on clothes tags. Kind of anti-theft device, you know, that goes on clothes.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So break point. Just 1 of 6 today. Medvedev breaks. Slowly turning this match on its head to lead 3-1.
Played a good point, didn't come in, was reluctant to, and actually turned out to be a good choice, because on the stretch there, Minaur did a good job of his backhand getting an angle. He just stood back and hit it for the right ball.
Remember, you can stay connected to the US Open, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. You can also join the conversation with us. Hashtag US Open, where you can find us. He's purring right now. Here's Medvedev. Special shot from Alex de Minaur.
This didn't even look on, did it? Wasn't a bad volley, but knew what he wanted to do. Medvedev had to close the net down because the volley had a bit of height to it.
Not an easy man to lob. Didn't miss it by much. High quality from both. De Minaur pulling the trigger. 21 shots at last point. Yeah, they've just been lingering, haven't they? Those doubles. This is 5th of the match.
Medvedev just putting the pressure on with that first ball, that +1 shot. Seven of 8 points when he's made the first in this set.
It's a shame. Sensational defending early on from Alex de Minaur. Medvedev just had to reset the point. There's a nice cushion now, leading 4-1.
Again, just a bit of angle, shorter.
It just looks a little scrambled at the moment. De Minaur, it was pretty straightforward, wasn't it, that opening set for him, certainly after first 3 or 4 games. Looked as though Medvedev was struggling physically. And he's just problem solved out here as the number 3 seed and looking like he's going to go 2-1 in front. Haven't seen too much of that of late either. Serve volley.
15 minutes in.
And then 2 points in a row, and it was a very good volley as well from Alex de Minaur.
As you so rightly say, he's almost been sort of kept a little further back in the court, hasn't he? So it hasn't been able to come forward quite as much, but that was a classy finish. Easy to change direction on the ball like that.
I think Medvedev got there in time. Wasn't called not up, looked pretty close. Oh, went to the serve volley for a 3rd time in a row, and I just wonder if Medvedev saw it coming.
30-40.
Yeah, didn't quite hit the spot with the serve either, did he? And when you're coming in off the central ball, obviously you've got a bit more to cover. Maybe just a little slip.
As good as a set point, you feel here. It's long, and Medvedev breaks again, in complete control of this 3rd set, and serving for a 2-1 lead.
Love of Dean.
Working his way up the court again.
59.
An excellent set. There's 5 unforced in this set from Medvedev. He's kept things really under lock and key.
So 2 set points as the clock hits 2 hours. That's a brilliant point, giving Medvedev the runaround.
Yeah, I haven't said that very often, have we, lately either? Really good defensive slice and enough movement on it. Medvedev forced to dig it out, but no way back.
Great return. Not done with just yet here, Minaur. Not just going to give this 3rd set away.
Deuce.
Oh, where did that move come from? A complete miss hit on the volley as well. That was what the apology was for.
Advantage Medvedev.
He didn't know a lot about this, did he? Right off the throat of the racket. Got the desired result, though.
Beautiful touch.
And the combination of the return having so much depth on it, it does allow him to move up the court off the ball here and then this drop shot on the same side of the court. So you can see Medvedev just taking a step back there. He's retreating. Not easy to then make that sort of semicircle movement.
pretty hot and humid night, 5-1 down against Daniil Medvedev. I think a lot of players would just be almost giving up the ghost in this third set, but de Minaur just does not have that in him. So the fourth time of asking, Daniil Medvedev leads by 2-1 out here. This is much more like it. Gil Savara's off for a quick bathroom break, I think. Unless Medvedev's told him to leave. That's happened before. De Minaur has a couple of wins from being 2-1 behind. 2020. Karen Khachanov, actually, the last time. Feel as though de Minaur has maybe gone away from that game plan that we saw in the opening set. Granted, Daniil Medvedev's obviously hitting the ball very well, and it's not easy to do, but he was so attack-minded, he was so positive, he was charging to the net, he was mixing things up, and I don't know about you, Nick, but the last set, 2 sets, set and a half, whatever it might be, he's just gone away from that.
Yeah, seems that way, doesn't it? Energy's dropped, isn't it, as well, because of that, as a consequence of his sort of inability to get in his grill and keep the points short. It's not quite the positivity around him that we were so evident in the first sort of 40 minutes of this match. Not to say it can't return. Tell you what, it has dropped, the 3 points on serve. We looked at the statistic, didn't we, in terms of we were in the 40s. He's now down in the low 20s in terms of first serves unreturned. Those 3 points have dissipated. They've been able to get so many cheap ones out there. Having to work a lot harder.
First serve. First serve.
That's nicely done. Medvedev a good couple of meters behind the baseline there. Big game for de Minaur to come through this. I know it's only the first game of set 4. His own belief that he can still win this match, you feel. Oh my goodness, what a volley from Alex de Minaur.
This is incredible. Medvedev got a good read on the serve. You can see him just shift across there. Great approach, even better volley.
That's why it's de Minaur, big fist bump over to Adolfo Gutierrez and the rest of his team after coming. gone straight back at him, Medvedev.
Natural shot when the ball's dropping is to take it cross court, because obviously you're going over the low part of the net, and the Minaur was waiting. Those were the sorts of returns we saw in the first. Right back at him with good length. He then pressured it. Annoyed he's missed that one. Chance to build on something here.
Got a bit of a spring in his step here, Minaur. Felt as though that first game, as I mentioned, was so big for him, especially the way that he closed it out with that unbelievable volley that he hit. Seen him just lose it mentally, haven't we, over the last week or so here, Medvedev. Minaur knows that that may happen. It can happen quite easily.
Thank you.
Just covered the ground so quickly, Medvedev, and it was one thing getting there, and then the injection of pace that he was able to find with that forehand as well.
And not from a straight run either, because look, he's on the same side of the court as the drop shot here, so he's covering back to the middle. He then has to kind of make that semicircle move, so it's not a direct run, which makes it even more impressive. Still got there and got something on it, as you say. I think could have done a lot more there, and I think that's what he's saying. Got to taste your own medicine there, didn't he?
Advantage, Medvedev.
Yeah, still up at nearly 80%. First serve points won today. Medvedev, 42 of 53. Big holds from Daniil Medvedev, saves the break point, levels things up. As though this is more like the Alex de Minaur that we were seeing in the first set, though. Just trying to drag Medvedev forward.
These people are trying to get forward to find a better seat. Up close and personal. It was the last day that we'll have singles matches on Lewis Armstrong. This will be the last singles match on Lewis Armstrong this week in the main draw.
I'm just not sure there's anyone better at that backhand pass than Medvedev.
And we so often talk about a player's ability to accelerate, but the deceleration here is just as critical. You've got to put the brakes on there once you've hit the shot to then get back in the middle, and that is what is so impressive in this sport. These guys are just able to recover so well.
Yeah, appreciated that bit of quality to Minaur. How often do you see it? Player has an opportunity to break in the last game, very next game gets broken. Love 30. Everywhere at the moment is Daniil Medvedev.
Using those long levers to good effect. Just waited for the ball, timed it beautifully. Actually ended up hitting the cross court, didn't he? Even though it went down the line, he's so far wide.
8 of the last 10, 3 break points. What a game from Daniil Medvedev after struggling to come through his previous service game. Is he kind of going under the radar a little bit this year, Nick? Obviously hearing a lot of people either saying kind of it's going to be Carlos Alcaraz or Novak Djokovic. Not too many people giving Medvedev too much love.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair comment, isn't it? Just think the fact that Wimbledon final was so special, wasn't it? And that final in Cincy as well, that there's almost that rivalry that's building, isn't there, between those two, and that's sort of left a few on the periphery, and this guy's never one to sort of, you know, push himself in terms of limelight. His game is obviously a little more quirkier, isn't it? This, you watch him play and he's not necessarily the guy you sort of look to as the most attractive, if you like, of players. I mean that with the greatest of respect, but he's just a little different, isn't he? He's not got the shot making of Alcaraz. He's not got the necessarily the, obviously, the Djokovic, the CV that he has and everything that he's achieved. But he's not going to give a dot jot, is he? As he said this week, he's just here to win tennis matches and make life difficult. His record at the US Open's incredible, though, isn't it? When you look at it.
Yeah, finalist in 2019, of course, when he lost to Rafa in that remarkable 5-setter. Semis in 2020, then won it 2021. And then Nick Kyrgios, the man who got the better of him 12 months ago in the 4th round. And Medvedev backs up the break emphatically.
Yeah, I think this city suits his personality in terms of, you know, being a little out there. It's obviously a unique place, this, isn't it? And this atmosphere in particular, it's, you know, obviously he's had his run-ins, but I think he likes that. Deflects the sort of pressure a little bit. USOpen.org. If you haven't been there already, go and check it out. Get a look at the draws, all the scores, interviews as well. Some great post-match interviews you can listen to. Listened to Iga Swiatek's this morning, very candid interview she gave after her defeat to Ostapenko last night. Understandably disappointed, and it was a good interview, revealing. that's one of the toughest parts of the sport. I mean, it's obviously part and parcel of the sport, when you come in from a defeat on a big stage in a major, and you've got to answer some tough questions. And I think it's obviously nothing new, but the fact you've got to do it after every round in an individual sport where obviously it's a personal loss, it's not easy, that.
As good as 3 match points you feel here for Daniil Medvedev. If he gets this double break, very difficult to see a way back for Alex de Minaur. 4 of 9 on break points today.
First serve.
Oh, it's just a remarkable change of direction from Medvedev to take that pass up the line. A moment of brilliance. Plum on the baseline as well. Medvedev double break in front, seemingly cruising towards the quarterfinals. Well, just 2 games away here, Daniil Medvedev. Sinner and Alexander Zverev, by the way, have just got underway out on Arthur Ashe. It's a super point. Doesn't get much better than that, really, from Alex de Minaur.
Yeah, just getting back behind him, so that give him that straight run, and defensively Medvedev just coughing up a high ball. No way back from there. Let's just take it step by step here, isn't he? One game at a time. And build his way back into this is a big ask.
Oh, it's just ball striking of the highest quality from Daniil Medvedev.
This backhand is metronomic in its delivery. He does not miss in these scenarios. As you say, one shot that perhaps did unpick him a little bit in the first set was that slice backhand. He's kind of not really been able to use it, or not gone to it enough. You should have sensed it's coming in at such a good height for him. He's did it all day long.
Those are the balls he's dealt with very well today, actually, de Minaur. Any time Medvedev has just dropped a little bit short, de Minaur hasn't let him off the hook.
Second serve and volley.
Yeah.
30.
Just never seen Medvedev do that.
Sixth double fault gives de Minaur the opportunity to get one of the two breaks back.
Big difference, actually. We can talk about numbers all day long and get swamped in them, but actually one of the big differences in this match compared to in Canada is the first serve points won for Medvedev. He was in the 50s, low 50s in Canada. It's rare. Even though he's lost that one tonight, he's in the close to the 80s. In fact, he is at 80% first serve points won. So
it was a big reaction, wasn't it, from de Minaur after winning that point? A big scream, just letting Medvedev know that he's not going to go anywhere.
Thank you. Deuce. Please.
Well, will he get a better opportunity than that, Alex de Minaur, to try and find a way back into this match? Medvedev saves the break points and moves to within a game of the quarterfinals.
5-1, fourth set.
That's the way to do it.
yes, good spot.
Yeah.
That's the Heineken bar.
Heineken bar, sure is.
Not that I know where that is.
No, obviously not. Working too hard, bud. Honey juice in hands. Be on social media in about 30 seconds, I'd imagine, that picture.
Unusual to see Medvedev run around the backhand like that, isn't it? But saw the slice coming early. To get involved in that.
First serve.
too much interest.
Thank you.
Start to the game when you're trying to close it out. Two huge first serves landed. Oh, looked a lot quicker than 110. Three match points. Bit of a statement performance, really, from Daniil Medvedev, the 2021 US Open champion, who gets the better of one of the informed guys on the ATP Tour, remember, in Alex de Minaur. What a year he's had. But Medvedev, after that first set, he was absolutely flawless tonight. And he'll take on his very good friend, Andrei Rublev, in the quarterfinals.